Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the VicaraGaming Invitational group stages. My name's Duke, and joining me as always is Sick, and we're here with Rize Gaming going up against PSL, as I am unable to pronounce their full name, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's Polish, right? So
yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Finally, this is the first official day of the Invitational, so we got a lot of games coming today, and I'm really curious who's gonna come out ahead on this first day. So we are in the picking phase now, and now the interesting stuff starts.
Yeah, this is where sort of the nitty-gritty comes down. This is where you get into the game.
So Rize Gaming is actually not from UK, but the organization is from UK. So the players are from all over Europe. They're international, but the organization is UK. So just that you know it. And now you can actually see that PSL is quite retarded to pronounce.
Yeah.
Yeah, Invoker ban. We've seen that in a lot in the past. I think it's still a very valuable pick. Bad Rider, I think we're gonna see the Doom as well, and maybe a Mirana or a Brewmaster. Yes, also a very strong pick.
Yeah, I do definitely like sort of just the way that Brewmaster can play in the current the current stage of play.
10 seconds remaining.
He's got good mid game. He's got a very strong laning ability. He can disrupt team fights very effectively, and just everything he does just really benefits him insanely.
Oh yes, Brewmaster overall is super strong, and if you do not get a lot of silence or lockdown to prevent his ultimate to come off, he's a really pain in the team fights, and of course you want to get rid of him. And the Tinker ban, I think Tinker is a really strong hero if given the space for it, so banning him out, I think I agree on that. So the two bans we usually have, Doom and Lycan, both are gonna be picked up here. Usually we have either Panda or Invoker not banned, but the Doom and Lycan banned, and Tinker is usually never banned, right? So this is already a bit of new territory.
Yeah, I think that's actually what they were aiming for. I think Tinker was a sort of on the fly ban. They thought, wait, they haven't banned out Lycan,
remaining.
And so they thought maybe we can try and take that. We have a strategy just in case they pick him up. But you can already see just the push potential that's going to come out of PSL.
And these teams are not thinking for a long time. They know, okay, we got a Doom, we got a Lycan, we know what we're going to build around it. Since it's not that often that you actually get these picks, right? So AA
rarely get all these heroes through.
Yeah, AA is good in deep pushing, global presence for team fights, pickoffs, whatever you want. It's a really strong hero on the laning phase as well with a chilling touch. You can go aggressive with it, you can go defensive, pull and get the fast level 6. You can do a lot with AA, and that's why I like this hero. It's viable on every lane and everywhere you want to do something with an AA.
Dire team ban.
So both creep junglers got banned out by Rize Gaming, so they don't want to be in that pressure of having even more push potential on PSL's side. Meanwhile, they are picking. PSL is banning out the Ember Spirit to prevent that strong hero in the mid game. I think there is not a lot of heroes that can really catch out the Ember effectively with a Slate of Fist, with his ulti, of course. Really hard to lock down.
I'm surprised they actually decided to ban out the Ember Spirit.
Team pick.
Because obviously, Lycan in the Shadow Shaman, you just want to be pushing, and even if it's just a Lycan pushing, you got the Shadow Shaman Jakiro who can sort of de-push very effectively.
Yeah, I think the Ember would not be a pushing tool in that kind of sense. I think Ember Spirit is a really good turtling tool. You can stand up your high ground and just slay your fist all the time down when the creep waves come. You damage the heroes, you damage the creeps, and it's really nice to just work your opponents down over a little bit of time, right? So getting rid of the Ember Spirit, they get more chance of entering the base, I think. And Jakiro with the Liquid Fire, of course, always a really nice tool to push down towers, reducing their attack speed and that little bit damage over time. Yeah, I think PSL right now goes full out push, and I think they're not going for split push, they're going for heads-on push onto the tower with what they have so far.
Yeah, and I do like the bans coming out of Rize, obviously with the Chen and Enchantress, to take them straight out of the equation.
Yeah, I actually thought that PSL might pick some of these heroes up, and very good ban there by Rize Gaming, realizing that this is a problem if they get one of those, especially Chen in the early game with an early mech can devastate some team fights early on, and you can just push with 3 creeps and there's not much you can really do about it. Of course, DP is a very nice pickup to D-push, but Lycan Wolves have a very high magic resistance, so they're not gonna die that easily to a Death Prophet. But it's always nice having that Exorcism, of course, with the physical damage. A BKB is not gonna save you from the massive damage output. And what I like about the AA, if you get a fast level 6 on the AA, you can D-push very easily because the enemies cannot use their mechanism, of course. So you engage a team fight, you use the Ice Blast, and if someone of these supports or a core picked up a mech, it's basically kind of useless, right? So it's a lot of money wasted if you go for a mech against the AA.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, did you mention obviously about how it sort of really hinders the Lycan with the Vladimirs? Because he can crit quite high once he's in that ultimate form, and he can get a fair chunk of life back.
Yeah, so this Lycan needs BKB at some point anyways, I think. If the Doom gets a Doom out before the Lycan actually uses his ultimate, he's very vulnerable, of course. Lacking that extra movement speed, lacking that... Oh, do you still get No, you don't get extra HP anymore, but still, it's reducing the amount of damage that comes out of the Lycans always something you want to have, of course. With a Doom, can do that. We could even get a Bane just for the Enfeeble and the Lockdown. We'll see how they're gonna play it out. I think Bane is always a nice support to have, of course. You have a Lockdown, you have a big nuke. And on levels 16 he can stand so far away and channel his ultimate that it's just very, very annoying to deal with for PSL.
Wow.
And talk about full out push. But I think Necrofrost is another one of those problems that you have when you play against AA. I think that heal doesn't really benefit you that much in a team fight if you're all under the effect of Ice Blast, of course.
Oh yeah, and definitely sort of how Necrofrost like really functions is you get a pick off with your ultimate, and then you start running around the team fight because you have incredible regeneration. But if you get hit by the Ice Blast, that regeneration, the Death Pulse, is doing absolutely nothing for you. Yes,
I totally agree. And what I still like about the Necrofrost is, of course, the Heartstopper aura. Doom is gonna have a lot of HP. Death Prophet is gonna have a lot of HP, so that's gonna still hurt a little. But of course, that main reason why you get him with that push potential, that you can heal up all your creeps all the time, that you can heal the wolves and damage down the enemy creeps with that Death Pulse. That is taken out at some point with that AA ulti, of course. So right now, Rize Gaming should really look into leveling up that AA super fast, because they need that experience. I think they're gonna lane safe lane, put the Doom maybe on off lane, or yeah, I think it's gonna be Doom off lane probably, and get the AA into the safe lane, pull all the time, get the levels up, because that is very important here for them. They need that AA Ice Blast early.
Yeah, and they could either try and leave the Doom up there and try and sort of go on a 1v1 with whoever PSL send on to their off, and sort of have the AA constantly pulling, have the Sand King just stacking and using the Sandstorm to be able to get his levels as well.
Yeah, I think the first minutes of the game, Rize Gaming need to kind of play greedy to get that level up, to get all the advantage they can get before that big push happens. When Shadow Shaman hits level 6, when Lycan hits level 8 with the Howl and the Wolves, and maybe or even level 9 with one point into synergy, then it's gonna be really hard for them to defend. So I think they need that early levels on Ancient Apparition, on Death Prophet, and maybe even the Sand King to get the epicenter off, because they want to overwhelm the enemies before the towers all fall, of course. So it's really crisp decision making for Rize Gaming to play against this major pushing lineup, I think.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and it is a major push. Like, obviously you got Liquid Fire, you've got the wards, you've got the Lycan plus his wolves. You can have all the range
5
damage that's going to
seconds
come out
remaining.
from, obviously, the 3 range heroes. Now, wow, okay.
Dire team.
So it's a Necro mid or a Lycan mid? What do you think? It's gonna be Necro or Lycan mid?
See, a Necro versus Death Prophet, I think that could work fairly well. More so than a Lycan. Obviously, Lycan doesn't have that much magic resistance. His wolves are fairly resistant to it. But I think he would really struggle in that mid.
Yeah, I think Lycan would have some problems against DP, I would agree.
10
But I think
seconds
the
remaining.
Necro for it's hard to tell, but what we're
5
certain of
seconds
is Darkseer is gonna be on the off lane. I think not. I think you cannot really go Shadow Shaman, Jakiro, Lycan offensive. I think that doesn't work too well. It could work out, of course, depends on the last pick now for Rize Gaming, but usually you send this Darkseer to the off lane, get some nice chunk of farm up on their Lycan, have the Shadow Shaman get some levels from the pulls, Jakiro just, you know, backing up the Lycan so he doesn't die to anything random, and try to play it out safe in the early game, while Rize Gaming needs to really go for the greedy, pull everything, farm up everyone, and I love it. The natural order is really gonna help deep pushing this.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be Doom safe lane, pretty much. Okay, so I think while this pause happens, we can just quickly introduce the teams. If you want to start it off.
Yep, for Rize Gaming, we have Crush taking up the Doom. I'm actually just going to take a second to look at what he has. Oh, I like his items. Half of the game is all about the cosmetic war.
Well, for you, maybe.
I've got to say that, apart from the Doom, Rize Gaming are looking fairly weak. Let's have a look at, just quickly look at Necrofrost looking fairly nice. Lycan's looking pretty snazzy. No, I'd have to give it all to the Doom. Doom wins this easy. But obviously, going back to Rize Gaming, we have Eki onto the Sand King, we have Lyrics onto the Ancient Apparition, Sursa onto the Elder Titan, and taking up the Death Prophet will be Shining.
About this, sorry about interrupting you, but on the on Rize Gaming, the Sand King, it's actually German. It means corner, and it's pronounced Ecke. So.
I do apologize for not knowing the language.
No, I'm just saying, so you know, for the future, right?
I'm just gonna call him Corner from now on.
Nah, just call him Ecke.
No, I'm calling him Corner.
Oh, if you want to. I don't know. Okay, let's go on the Radiant side.
Yep, for PSL, we have Meth taking up the Shadow Shaman. Necroforce being played by Bessiondo Bessiorozini. That went quite well, actually.
That went really well. And that's another language as well, so...
Exotic Deer playing the Lycan. Jerbane Zero onto Darkseer, and Elmez onto the Jakiro. And they are moving... let's see how they're moving. They're moving quite aggressively, and I'm wondering if they could try and play an aggressive lane with the Necro.
Yeah,
and have the Darkseer just solo bottom versus the Elder.
Or... yeah, that could work. And the Lycan mid. Yeah. I think he's still fine against DP, of course. It's a strength hero, 600 HP, has a ring of protection early on, can make a Bazi, can push out the lane, and DP can farm, of course. So I think that mid lane is pretty even. DP maybe having a little edge here, of course, with being ranged and having that big AoE nuke. But overall, I don't think that this Lycan is gonna have a lot of troubles. I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think that Rize Gaming were expecting an aggressive lane up here.
Probably not, yes. I think With Shadow Shaman, you can always go aggressive, but Jakiro is quite the defensive support, so you want to, farm your Lycan or whatever carry you have. You want to farm it up and then use the Jakiro just to help him escape from any aggression that might come up, and then you can just go back to farming, of course. But going aggressive with that Jakiro... Oh, wait.
The battle begins.
Lycan is... Yeah, I think they're gonna try to mid-pull. Because Lycan just removed all the trees.
I don't think you can't do that anymore, can you?
There is some way to do it. I don't really recall it anymore, but I think you need... What was it? Was it Shaker? I don't know. I'm not too entirely sure, but...
I think Wisp can do it.
Yeah, Wisp can do it, certainly, yes. With the tether, of course, it works with removing the trees. But I can also remove the trees, so I don't know if there's something coming up. I think Rasta's gonna place a ward here, or he's gonna try to, get rid of the Doom and then place a ward so Doom doesn't know where it's placed.
Yeah, and the thing is, he can just sort of harass out the Doom. Doom without any armor at level 1 is very, very, very susceptible to these autos. And this is really nice coming out of PSL. They are going to sort of hinder the greed that will be coming out from Rize Gaming.
Yeah, that's something. I think they've seen it as well, that Rize Gaming really needs to play greedy in the early minutes to get that AA some level up, to get some levels on the Sand King. Of course, you need that epicenter, and they're blocking everything out, so Sand King cannot just use Sandstorm, of course, right? But meanwhile, this is...
They're going to rotate around, see if they're able to pick up Death Prophet. Death Prophet does know about it. And the Lycan actually can't provide all too much apart from the Howl.
Yeah, but the Howl is not to underestimate, of course. There's a lot of damage coming out for the auto hits, and while they're locking down, and they're going here, oh, they got spotted, so they're just gonna move back to top lane here, help out that Necrophos, because I think solo he couldn't really stand on that lane.
Yeah, I think actually, I don't think we haven't seen the Sand King move around. Gonna go straight into the Cold Feet and into the War Storm, so that will actually be the dead Necrophos. He's going to be latched up with that, and that's going to be the first blood going up to the Doom. Actually, they're going to get a Shackle into the Ice Bath onto the Sand King, so he's going to fall as well. So a 1-for-1 trade, but you did trade the Necrophos for a Sand King.
And especially the first blood went to the Doom, so that's really major and huge already. I don't know if this Doom is really going to go for the Midas in this game. I think it's not going to be the best choice regarding the pressure that's going to come out of PSL, but we're going to see. A Midas, of course, always can help you, get up that little bit more of experience, a little bit more of farm in the later stages when it really paid off then. Yeah, but it's gonna be interesting what kind of item choices they go for. I think the Necrophos is gonna go for a mech. That's certain. Even though the AA provides that Ice Blast, I think they're still gonna go for a mech. To just, maybe even split push then, so the AA cannot hit both lanes at the same time.
Yeah, obviously, because what they can just do is, once they got the mech up onto the Necro, they can just, have the Lycan split push another lane, and then just roll forwards. With, a Vacuum, Wards, and Death Pulse, Ice Path, into a Macropire, they do have a very, very strong lineup, even without the Lycan. So they can take these fights and potentially force the AA to try and Ice Blast the other lane, or just be able to Ice Blast the team fight.
Yes, the only major flaw I see right now...
onto the Doom. He's going to be caught out straight into the Ice Blast, but the Sand King and the Ancient Apparition are here. And that's a lot of damage onto that Sand King. And might be able to get that last hit. Will the Dual Breath wasn't able to latch it just in time. You can use that wand, get that Ice Path off. Liquid Fire is going to be there. And with the Liquid Fire, he's taken a lot of damage. And I think if the Jakiro used his wand, he potentially could have killed the Doom there. He had the Dual Breath coming off, so that's another attack slow.
I don't know if he could have killed him, because we have that Bazi up on the Doom, we have the Stout Shield up on the Doom, so he's quite beefy for the Jakiro just to hit down. So I don't know if that, because the Ice Path doesn't deal that much damage, right? It's like 50 damage, so
no,
it's basically...
If he actually used the wand at a later portion, he actually would have had Dual Breath, so a 30 attack slow on top of the 20 you get from Liquid Fire. So it's not that he would have been able to kill the Doom quickly, it's that the Doom couldn't kill him, and sort of a war of attrition.
Yeah, that's true though.
No deaths happened.
Yeah. Actually, Shadow Shaman got traded off for Sand King, right? For AA, not for Sand King.
Yeah.
But you talked about PSL having a really strong fighting lineup even without the Lycan. I think as soon as Doom picks up a BKB, there's nothing gonna stop him. There's magic damage, and even more magic damage, right? So if there is a BKB coming out, this Doom is gonna wreak havoc if this Lycan is not there. And the Doom is actually gonna be caught out here.
Yeah,
that's
the Doom will very easily die here unless it gets denied by a neutral. No, the Necrophos got the last hit on there. A slow from these ghosts and the poison is really sort of playing havoc with the Necrophos there trying to move forward.
Dire's bottom tower is
But the thing is, you say the Doom with a BKB. It's Doom as a
we see in the mid lane the DP is chasing Lycan with a haste, but Lycan using his ultimate, so they're at the same move speed, and she actually didn't see him going up there, so she's gonna retreat, I think, go back. Lycan used the healing stuff, so everything is fine. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, and this is what I was much more expecting out. Oh, this is really risky. They should have known the DP was going to come straight up here. She does have the exorcism. She's going to be able to pop that straight away, and they just need to sort of salvage back out and just make what they can out of this. With the Death Pulse, they might be able to get out of here, especially with the one charge as well. And the Sand King is going to borrow straight forward. There's a jump from the Sand King moving forward. And they just traded 1 for 1 again, and that's a pop of the exorcism. The ancient apparition almost died as well.
Yeah, but we see going for Rize in this situation is Jakiro is dropped low and has half mana pool. They also have to drop salves and everything.
They're playing aggressive. They're gonna go straight back into this fight.
Yeah, I like that move. It's surprising.
Yeah, and I think as soon as they see them, actually, they're going to go straight for the Sand King. Going to get off that Hex.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, he tried. Oh, actually, he's doing a really good job and surviving here. That was a nice reaction there by the Sand King, realizing he was in grave danger and just popped that Sandstorm immediately. That's some great map awareness, because you're not expecting to have 3 people there. And actually, the Doom is quite in danger here, because he's still not having his space boots, but with the Scorched Earth, he's regenerating so much, and he's actually just tanking everything away and moving at such a light speed that they can just turn this fight around with an initiation on the Rasta. And now the Sand King actually has to be careful. Drops to the Jakiro. Now they pursue this Jakiro. I think they're not going to get him.
A move back from the Necrophos will sort of push this out. They are going to turn this around. They do have the Death Bolt as well. Now the Liquid Fire, he's going to be able to pick up him. And unfortunately, the kill did not go for the Necro, so he's not going to get that big regen. Necro has 1800 gold.
Yeah, that's of course. He's skipping the Arcane Boots in this point of situation, I think. He's going back, of course, out of mana. Jakiro also forced out of the lane, but the Doom died though, so PSL really got a lot out of it. Yeah, and AA is asking, can you give me that experience with a Sandstorm? And they're stacking first, of course. AA is sitting on level 4 already, so that's nice. They need that Ice Blast up as soon as the push starts, of course. DP is great in deep pushing, but it's not gonna be enough alone with the Necrophos healing up everything and a
Lycan split pushing.
Yeah, of course. But
one of the things I'm actually worried about, obviously, with the Sand King, actually decided he was expecting to be able to get a little bit more farm and took the second point up in Sandstorm. If he had a second point up in Burrow Strike, I think they would have been able to take at least another fight, because obviously with that extra range.
Yeah, that is what I meant when I talked about they need to play greedy here. They have to take these kind of risks to, you know, survive right into the mid game with that levels up they need. And if we take a look at the experience graph, we see that it's going in favor of Radiant right now, and that's really something you do not want to happen if you're... Oh, Doom. Okay, he got out. But that's something you don't want to happen if you're the greedy team, you know. You need to play greedy in order to come into the mid game and survive it, not lose all the towers.
Yep. Was something I was going to say? With a Midas Darkseer, he's going to hit his 12 quick, and that really is the key level for a Darkseer. And he is getting a lot of farm compared to, like, sitting at 61 compared to the 29 of the Elder Titan.
Yeah, playing as a melee against Darkseer, of course, always is annoying. And we see that's pushed already starting on the top lane. They cannot really... they're gonna initiate on the Doom? No, they just tried. And then we have a TP inside there. So they're gonna try to chase this down. The Sand King is nowhere near, so they don't have a lockdown at all. So the DP wasted an TP there, or maybe... Waste is maybe
in the mid.
Dire's middle
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
and that's just something so great when you leave your lane, then you're gonna have a big problem in your own lane. But what we did not mention that much so far is that this natural order is really gonna take a huge part in that battle. People tend to underestimate it. We have an ultimate on top of the Doom, and he just evaporates right immediately. Couldn't get out of there, so
Yeah, and look at the regen to go straight onto the Necrophos and
Yeah.
picks up that kill. It's absolutely insane regen.
and that's just level 1 sadist, right?
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is
So this
under
top tower is
attack.
probably gonna fall, and now the interesting part begins, because they achieved their goal of the aggressive tri-lane, they made kills happen, they got the tower, so what are they gonna do now? They're gonna go to mid, try to push the next tower, are they gonna try to pressure the tier 2 tower? What's their plan now? What's their decision on what they're gonna do now? Same
You
thing
can-
actually, yeah?
Yeah, you can see what the Necrophos just sort of drew out. He said, right, we need to basically control all of this.
Yeah,
And
because...
definitely the way they need to go about that. And they might find out the death of her here. She's got the haste range. She's already popped the exorcism straight away. Silence onto the Shadow Shaman's commit. He's going to fall straight away, and there's nothing to help him. Gets out the hex just so she can't get any more spells off. Meanwhile, Vicara was picked off by the ET Doom and Sanking.
Did you see how far due to the natural order? That's so massive.
I actually see that.
Is under attack.
Basically the Elder Titan had like 1 or 2 stacks of his Astral Spirit, and then he like 3-hitted that hero with a natural order.
Oh, blame me.
But in the meantime, we have the bottom tower being pressured really hard by this Darkseer, and actually that's something you do not see well too often, that a Darkseer actually pushes his tower alone against some lane that was like basically every minute of the game in his lane.
He's level 11 at 11 minutes with a Midas Soul Ring and an extra 3,100 gold.
Do you think we're gonna see an early Hex, or we're gonna see a Dagger or Radiance?
Radiance Darkseer.
But the good thing for Rize Gaming right now is that this AA is almost level 5. Even though they had a hard fight on the top lane, they still managed to play it out somewhere greedy.
Just be careful, he was being attacked by a double Iron Shell. Almost taking a bit of damage from that, and the tier 1 tower is being slowly ticked down by obviously the liquid fire from this Jakiro.
And there's level 6 up on AA, so they can finally make something happen with that ulti to pick off the Necrophos wherever he is. With a mech, with a Death Pulse, doesn't matter. Ice Blast.
Yep. But obviously, for that, it needs to hit
Yeah, of course.
Necrophos.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Rasta actually
World
tried.
wars going on.
Yeah, but at the cost of the mid tower, and actually the Ice Blast coming out, but yeah, it's not hitting, and there was no follow-up anyway, so it was just a nice delaying try, but tower fell before, so it doesn't really matter.
The tower fell there. The Shadow Shaman, I think they need to give Shadow Shaman a bit of space to get his 6. Meanwhile, the Lycan has just been split pushing up this top. The Darkseer hasn't left bottom. Actually, it's only just left to go back to base. And just picked up a Necro book too.
Well, that's certainly painful. They're going full out push in this game so far, and if they... it's hard to tell who's gonna come out on top, because playing against push is really hard if you do not have the perfect anti-push lineup. But we still don't have the Rasta wards up, we still don't have a Macro Pyre that could help out, because you don't want to really skill it on level 6. So without the Rasta wards, it's really hard to teamfight, and they're gonna find the DP here.
Yeah, into the shackle, into the ice path. There's really no way now with the Reaper's Life just to be able to just absolutely smash her down.
And he's at the same amount of mana he had before. That's so. This Sadist is so strong.
It's so stupid. It's unreal. And meanwhile, Darkseer's just pushing a mid lane. And I'm just thinking, what do Rize have to deal with potentially 2 Necro 3s?
Is under attack.
They can't do it.
Oh, the Doom is actually... he doomed up the Necro. Necro still got out his mech. So we have an Ice Blast incoming and hits 3. Beautiful Ice Blast there.
And then there's going to be an Earthsplitter going to go. Actually, it doesn't hit anyone. The Lycan's now chasing down onto the Doom. Doom's taking a lot of damage. Actually, juking through the trees very, very nicely. Now going to be helped up by the AA and the Elder Titan. Wolves will be able to pick off the Elder Titan as well there. Now just and a crit onto the Doom to be able to pick him off. Now Jakiro's got the Macropie to take down the AA. Meanwhile, Darkseer's still mid, and he's just taking down this, taking down Zephyr. The tower was denied by the DP, but still.
I think Rize really have to turtle this out. There's just so much push coming out of PSL here. It's really, I don't know, like when I played against push, I really hated it because it's basically just you know, it's not PvP, it's PvE. You try to bring down the base, right? I mean, it's a valid and legit strategy. I just don't like playing against it, and of course it's really a lot of pressure you have to set yourself on. You know, at this key point when these and that levels are up, then it's gonna happen and they push down all the towers.
Yeah, and off the back of that fight, Vicara got to level 9. He actually 800 gold from his own Necro book, so we're gonna get 3 Necro books.
Yeah.
Darks has actually got his Necro 3 coming out right now, and an extra 700 gold.
And we have an initiation on the
Link coming out of the Sanking, absolutely out of nowhere. And the Lycan's going to fall with the extra damage going to him. The Reaper Cycle went out onto the Death Prophet, but there was no extra damage coming out from her. She's going to just be chasing down onto the Necrophos with their natural order, but are there any stuns to kick him off? No, but there's enough damage from the Spirits. Meanwhile, the Doom is out onto the Jakiro. He's going to fall, should fall from that, yeah, and he has as well.
Dire's courier has been killed.
The Necro 3 book just went and took out the courier.
Yeah, that's pretty painful. But that was a beautiful executed teamfight from Rize. They split up the members of PSL, and it was really hard for them to fight because their main healer source, the Necrophos, was chased down alone somewhere. Darkseer Wall didn't come out because he was out of mana. So there was a lot of trouble for PSL, and that's something Rize did really well. They had to take this teamfight and they executed it quite well. So of course, with the gold graph being hugely in favor of PSL, I think if Rize turtles this out and plays for the late game with the natural order, they still might have a shot at, you know, pushing down PSL after one team fight, but it's gonna be hard. Lycan just trying to attempt Roshan right away again.
Yeah, but they know. They've got the ward. It hasn't been de-warded as well.
The problem is Doom is not up and Exorcism is not up. It's really hard to take that fight.
But they've got an epicenter, and she's just going to jump straight in with the Sanking. The Ice Blast is there. Now straight into the Stomp, but he's just going to fall again. The epicenter was there once again, and they just done the exact same thing again. Sanking into the Stomp, into the Ice Blast. And now the Necrophos is being sort of cottoned off. He's got the cold feet, actually was able to escape from that, but it's been pushed into the Roshan pit. He's taking a lot of damage, so you've got to get that one stick off. Doesn't actually get the one charges off. Necrobrooks are like dealing damage around their back. Doom goes out onto Jakiro, so no more Ice Pass or Liquid Fire coming out of him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Darks is having fun farming.
This is like a deja vu. The Jakiro just got chased down by the Doom before as well with with the Doom, and it's just happened right here as well. So
yeah, the exact same situation just happened, and I think the Lycan really they seem to stop going for this Roshan. They've just thrown 2 team fights at this Roshan pit.
Yeah,
they
I think
can't sort of fight into this combo like they have been.
Yeah, well, the Roshan is gone anyways now in favor of the Dire side. Rize Gaming picking that up. Really nice 2 team fights they had. Exorcism is up, was up, or nice deny there by the Lycan with the Wolves. But that's the first tower going to Rize Gaming, and that was denied, so really painful. But they won 2 team fights, and they came back from 11k gold lead to 9k gold lead, and that's just 2k gold going into Dire's favor. Rize Gaming really working hard on that comeback, and I think it works out pretty well for them right now.
The thing is, I have to say that literally all of this gold lead is Darkseer, and he hasn't actually joined a fight yet.
Yes, true.
He's got Blink, Midas, Necro 3, Soul Ring, and Boots now. This next fight he joins with a level 2 wall and a level 4 vac. I think he could complete 10 this round because there's no BKBs yet.
Yeah,
I think into the Macrofire.
Interesting choice here by Doom to go for, I think, Shivas or AC. I think it's gonna be AC to deep push with that minus hour, but I'm not too sure. One of those. It's really interesting he's not going for the BKB. I think DP really needs that BKB. Yeah, she's going for the BKB at least. It's really important for them to get the BKBs up. Crush actually telling his teammates to push out all the lanes so they can move around the map and be more free about what they can do. it's important that you push out the lanes, especially against their pushing lineups. You really want to have these lanes over the river all the time. But it's gonna be really hard pushing over the river. Of course, here on the top lane there's like the tier 1 still up, so on the bot lane there's the tier 1 still up, so it's really hard to push too far out, right?
Yeah, and they're also dealing with a Blink, Epicenter, Sand King, a Earth Splitter with Natural Order. Actually, Natural Order into the Epicenter, then the Ice Blast. And they've just been setting up with the Spirit into Stomp consistently, and a nice Blink Stomp jump from the Sand King. Gonna be able to pick up the Necrophos. The Ice Blast actually hit him. None of this regen is actually helping him right now. The Earth Splitter went out. It's not even going to be needed. Estism was enough to pick off the Jakiro. Another Shadow Shaman at the top of the fight. Lycan's trying to deal some damage. It was able to pick off the Ancient Apparition, but he needs to run. Darkseid, your team needs you!
I think he's doing the correct thing here. He couldn't really fight with them. Fighting wise, PSL is really behind. Of course, with that, with the Ice Blast, Necrophos becomes entirely useless. Only his ultimate will deal something there, and so Darkseid couldn't really benefit his team by coming to the team fight. I think it was the right choice, especially with the Necro books, to just, you know, try to push down the top lane. But Rize Gaming are executing this team fight so brilliantly. They picked out the Necrophos immediately, so he couldn't heal his teammates. He couldn't really get out his ultimate. I think he used ultimate on Sand King, and Sand King ended up dying. But the sadist regeneration didn't come out because of the AA ult, of course, and AA is just such a great hero against Necrophos, and with that Stomp AA ulti combo, this Ice Blast is always gonna hit on the Necrophos.
Yeah, and also, Lycan actually got the deny on the tier 1 bottom tower with his wolves again.
Yeah, that's his second deny, right? It's really great what he did so far with the wolves, but I think PSL really has to commit to a full-out push, because the longer they wait, the harder it's gonna get for them to fight. Doom sitting on 2.7k gold. I think he's gonna go for a Shivas here. Kuria is sitting at the secret shop. They're watching top, and they want to get this Darkseid here. Doom is out. Sand King will dagger in. Blink. There comes the Ice Blast. Actually missing. But that was a so important pickup. That was a level 15 Darkseid, and that gives so much experience, especially to that now level 11 Sand King. The AA sitting on level 9, soon level 10, and if you get this ultis level 2, it's gonna be really hard for PSL to commit to a base push. Getting high ground, holy shit, Sand King. Committing to a high ground push here is gonna get harder when time passes by.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was gonna be Shivas.
Yeah, and he got Shivas finished. I mean, that's a huge pickup.
I think they're looking potentially just waiting for the Acronyms for the Reaper Scythe, so because get the extra damage on that.
The big point, yeah,
and obviously no buyback.
Yeah, that's
pushing up high ground.
If they pick off anyone of Rize Gaming with that Reaper Scythe who cannot buy back, I think their team is really well picked. Everyone in this composition from Team Rize has a major task to do in the team fight, and if one of those cannot buy back and cannot come back to the team fight, I think there's a major threat for Rize Gaming to lose that fight.
Yeah, definitely. Now the Aegis going to be reclaimed from the Death Prophet. They're looking for the Lycan, but he's just farming away in the woods.
If they get a stun off and then a silence,
they might be able to get a stun onto him. Yep, they're going to be able to catch him out. There's a quick stun onto him.
Silence!
He's going to be gone.
No silence, but still, yeah. I think that Lycan is pretty dead, yes.
Just a little bit.
Sorry.
And then instantly another smoke out from them. Darkseid's back up to his top lane. Has he picked up anything? He's just picked up Boots of Travel. So he's actually going to be able to like rejoin some of these fights. We've got the Shadow Shaman. I think he's going to come top, throw down the wards onto the tier 3 if they're going. Actually, no, Sand King's coming up. They need to be really careful with the rotations coming in from the other heroes. Yep, the Ancient Apparition is saying, yep, they're this way. Go this way. They will be farming.
Invisibility.
Yeah, and Sand King spotted them out its day, so he sees what's going on there. So he's waiting for his teammates to close up, but of course the Radiant team is running away, and actually he's getting on the initiation on that Shadow Shaman. The Ice Blood is it's a beautiful surge.
But
Now let's see how much fun this Darkseer got.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a lot of illusions. The DP really has to be careful.
That's a BKB. That's a 10-second BKB just used.
That's weird though. There was just physical damage standing behind her, right? Yeah. And actually, the Doom picks off the Shadow Shaman without his Doom, and that's major. The wall's blocking out the illusions, so that's a little bit unfortunate. They're pinging this Doom, and of course, because he's a good player, he has a TP, and he's gonna just evacuate. That's another beautiful pickup for Rize. They're working their way back into this game, and they're doing it beautifully, picking off kills left and right. And PSL's idea of pushing just, I don't know, it's gone. They got all the towers, and now they do not want to commit to a base push. And I think now it's mostly already too late. They're sitting at a 6k gold advantage, and look at the experience graph. That tells how the teamfights went.
Oh yes, definitely. Because he sort of fell from that big advantage in the experience, and then even the gold, it's been suddenly declining. The Darkseer's been able to keep it up somewhat, but all of these other fights that they've been losing has just been putting it further and further out of control. Now Vela just caught up on the Sanking.
Yeah, they have a lot of magic damage, same with the Radiant. PSL having basically only magic damage apart from the Lycan, and Rize Gaming having you know, Ice Blast, Death Prophet ulti is physical, then they have Doom hitting is physical, so they have a nice split of damage types, so they can work against targets with BKB as well. I think PSL has the problem, as soon as DP pops the BKB, they don't really have that much to offer against the DP anymore. And if Doom gets a BKB as well, I don't know if that's necessary, but I think it would be a good pickup.
Doom's got Blink in, but the Lycan's already ulted, so he's not going to be able to sort of deal with him in any way. Just going to have to leave that.
But if the Lycan has to run from a Doom in this state of the game with still like 6 or 7k gold advantage, it's already telling how much PSL fears Rize Gaming right now.
Yeah, the Death Prophet is actually sitting on 4200 gold, so that could potentially go in for a sheep for her, which I think would be really, really useful.
Yeah, I think a Hex on either Necroforce or Lycan is really major, because Lycan is only now going for a BKB. They're smoking up, trying to go for the Doom, but that's a trap.
Yeah. Lycan's had to ult away, but Ultimate's still going to be there.
Yeah, but meanwhile Darkseer is pushing top, but this Titan is constantly...
the blink from the Sanking into the episode, into the Ice Blast, that's going to be able to pick him off. Now the ulti is wore out, and he's going to be brought down.
And
Corner really doing work there.
Yeah, Corner. Yeah, Eke really showed some nice play on that Sand King, and I really have to say that Rize Gaming is playing this out beautifully. They, I think it was Captain's calls that made this. The decisions they made in this game are really well done. Of course, it was really hard in the early game against that pushing with that greedy lineup you had to go for. You had to get that level 6. It's so major on that AA. You had to get the level 6 on Sand King, and they managed to do that. And Rasta is actually ward trapping the Doom. No, never mind. Haze Boots, yeah. And that's wards wasted. They're not even close to the tower, so they have to work against the creeps now. But Rize Gaming is retreating to safety. They did a lot of damage. They got to tier 2 bottom, killed Lycan, killed Rasta twice. And I think right now, even though the gold graph is still not in the lead of Dire, I think Rize Gaming really made the lead happen here. I think they're ahead now, especially with a 12k experience. That's just so major. If you check out the levels, we have 17 on Darkseer and then 16 on Lycan, and the rest is just the Necroforce, the safe lane farmer. Compare him to Doom. Doom being on level 17 and Necroforce level 11, so that's really dangerous. And that's just annoying Necroforce right now. We got that full Aghanim's now on Ancient Apparition, so this Necroforce will be useless for I think 17 seconds. Yes, 17 seconds. So that's really painful for the Necro. For the Necro to handle that. Especially with the Veil of Discord from the Sand King. If Epicenter Ice Blast hits into the Veil of Discord, that's really painful. PSL, yeah?
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a shoot that we were expecting out of the Death Prophet. A lot of gold farmed up on her, and it even got an Aghanims up onto the Ancient Apparition. The Sand King obviously got that Blink Veil 1500. The ET's managed to put himself up to. He's now got a 4-star. He's got another 2500 gold, and I would actually like to see a Vlad's come out of the ET. I'll be honest. I just think a Vlad's on the ET really works well with him. It really helps when he gets into a fight, and if he gets a big Astral Spirit through all 5 heroes, he does a lot of damage, and then just healing through that. Plus, you give that extra heal to the Doom, actually they will pick off the Jakiro. And just Corner, I think, has just been. I imagine it was Corner setting that up with the blink.
Actually it was Doom walking in there with the Shiva's giving vision, and now they're just gonna pop the exorcism and get that Roshan down.
Yeah, they're trying to pick off the Elder Titan, but the Doom comes out onto the Dark Seer, and now a net onto the Lycan.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Earth Splitter coming out, the Ice Blast will miss, but then you get the Stomp coming out of the ET. He needs to be careful, he needs to not take any more damage. The Lycan really wants that ultimate back up. It's getting blocked out by himself. A nice surge away from the Dark Seer might be able to save him. We've got Blink up in 1 second. Now he's away. It actually decides to back off. They were able to pick up the Aegis just with the Death Prophet as well.
Yeah, and Sand King actually died bottom to the Rasta and the ultimate of Necrophos, but that's just a minor pick off. I think the Sand King is not really that valuable in this situation because they're nowhere near the river, right? So they need to push all this way, and like an Sand King would be up again if they start pushing their base. Interestingly, Doom has 4k gold, so there's something big coming out on him. Let's see the other items. I usually don't really like Aegis on DP, because as soon as your exorcism is over, of course, you're not that big of a threat anymore for the enemy team. But if you check the other heroes of Rize Gaming, I think the Doom could take off the Aegis, but he was busy fighting and helping out the Elder Titan top. So I think overall it's fine for the DP to pick up that Aegis. We have a big Ancient stack for the Radiant, so Lycan's gonna farm that up at some point. I think he's still sitting on the same items he had 10 minutes ago. He's trying to get that BKB, but he's just getting picked off left and right, and he has to retreat back out, go to the base, and that's what's really hurting his economy right now. And Elder Titan might go for an AC here, since we have a Shivas already and he picked up a plate mail. I think it's gonna be an AC, and that's really gonna benefit the whole team. Because the only damage they can really take is from the Lycan, the physical hits, if they have a BKB, and if there's a lot of armor on them, it's gonna be really painful. But we have another plate mail on the Doom, so that's quite interesting. I don't know who's going for the AC here. DP out pushing top lane against the Lycan, just making sure they don't take any more damage on any tier 3 towers, because that's just too major. If there's one tier 3 tower really low, PSL can capitalize on it and just push through the lane. So they really want to keep all their towers alive and on well health. We see a little bit of a farm game, and I think that just benefits Rize Gaming. PSL needs to get some push happen, and they just cannot push anymore against the strong farmed heroes of Rize Gaming. So they have a huge edge, and they can just play this out for a time. I think the longer the game takes, Rize Gaming is just gonna take the lead. We have a look at the gold graph, and we see it's only 2k anymore after that 11k gold lead they had at the 15-minute mark. Now 15 minutes later it's almost even again. The Lycan's gonna take that Ancient stack with his teammates here to get some experience back up, but it's just a 15k experience lead for Rize Gaming. That's just major, and they're gonna push down the tier 1 top, and I think that PSL is not gonna defend the tier 1 top, or are they? We have a DD rune on top, but I think no one's gonna pick it up. They smoked up, so they might try to surprise Rize Gaming here. This is gonna be a really important fight. Wall into vacuum, and Sand King ulti popping in there with the Veil of Discord, dealing a lot of damage. Ice Blast already hit. Double kill on the Shadow Shaman. The Lycan with the BKB and actually chasing down the Doom. DP alive again, popped the Exorcism, but died immediately again to Reaper Scythe and the Doom tipping out, and the A is actually gonna fall as well to the Rasta and the Lycan. So that was a really beautiful team fight for Rize, for PSL. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was trying to sort out something else, and that fight happened, and just wow.
That was just overwhelming, and that was something I did not expect to happen. We have, let's check the buybacks. We have a buyback on Lycan, we have still a buyback on Titan, he could come back. And we have a buyback on Necrophos. The rest of the heroes do not have a buyback. But with that DP already making sure there's no creeps coming into the base, I think they're gonna defend it. So PSL actually surprisingly won a team fight. Roshan is still not up. So PSL just getting back a little bit of the money, and we see that curve going up again and up to 6k. That team fight really did a lot for them.
I just have to say, I think did Sand King pop both of the Necro books? Because I was watching his health during that fight. He was able to get his epicenter off, and he jumped straight into the ice path. But then he just blew up.
Yeah, I think he killed some Necrobook warriors since his life dropped immediately. Especially with the Veil of Discord, this Necrobook's gonna die really fast, and I think that really melted him. But it doesn't really matter. As soon as he got his epicenter and the Veil out, I think he's not that valuable anymore. So sacrificing for that and killing all the Necrobook warriors is actually quite big deal for Rize Gaming. I think if they get rid of the Necrobooks, it's just gonna benefit them so hard in their team fights. So I actually like even that the Sand King died for it. DP is gonna create a little bit of pressure in the mid lane. PSL getting ready, but a beautiful initiation on top of that Necrophos with the Doom. Rasta dying as a side product. AI really dropping low to the Necrobook warriors. BKB pop for the Lycan. Doom has to really retreat out of here. BKB up, soon gone on the DP. The Exorcism still trying to work on a beautiful stun by Eke. Trying to save that Doom, getting out of there, but with the tower up. Oh, nice, beautiful blink. So the Sand King sacrifices himself to save that Doom, and a really important save there. He's actually going all the way into the base, but there was still another one team fight for PSL with the wall, with the Rasta wards, and a lot of damage coming out. The Necrophos didn't die in that team fight, even though he was doomed. The Ice Blast closely missed, and that was really unfortunate for Rize. But they were slowly working down the gold advantage from PSL back to 2k, and now it's back up to 8k. 2-1 team fights just make a major comeback for PSL here. It's still gonna be really hard pushing the base though, against DP, against Natural Order, Epicenter of course, and Doom has Doom again soon? Yeah, 30 seconds. So I think they cannot really commit to a base push yet. I think they have to wait for Roshan, win that Roshan fight, get the Aegis on the Lycan, and then just work down these towers slowly, just sending in minions of course all the time. It's gonna be really hard to defend with the Aegis on Lycan up. I think they're gonna check Roshan soon.
One of the things I have just got to say is that Doom has so much armor. If he got a BKB, there is nothing that PSL can do.
Yes, I think BKB could play a major role here. So we had the Titan Spirit scouting out a little bit where the enemies are. I think he didn't really find anyone. But Rize Gaming could just sit in base all day and defend this. I think they got a lot of farm up on their core heroes, so they don't really need to farm up everywhere they want anymore. In the mid lane we have an initiation on that Necrophos with the Doom. DP coming in, and I think this Necrophos is certainly gonna die here, and that's a major pickoff. I think PSL really have to hurry out and get away of that situation.
Yeah, Darkseid was trying to pull that out. So, oh, the burst strike actually missed from the Sand King. Oh, what in the lifetime mistake coming out there from corner. Just, I think if they were able to pick off the Darkseid as well out of that, I think that could have very easily been like sort of to push up the mid, potentially getting into that high ground.
Call him Eke, that's a violation of a player, man.
No, he is now quarter. You should not have taught me the German.
I'm certainly teaching you some German words, but let's see. So actually, the Necroforce is still dead, and the Roshan is gonna be up really soon. What's that? Like 1 minute? Yeah, it should be like 1 minute.
1 minute. The Necroforce will be back alive at this when that actually happens. Okay, Darkseid, just go and buy an Aghanim Scepter. I think if the Darkseid gets an Aghanim Scepter, with the lack of the only BKB up in Archie, he needs to get out here. Blink into the trees, blink into the trees. People, do it, do it, do it. He will get away. The Storm's not going to be there in time, so he's out free. That would have been such a massive pickoff.
Yeah, now they have to retreat back up to defend against the Lycan. They always have to make sure they do not miss that Roshan timing. As soon as Lycan picks up that Aegis, I think it's going to be really dicey for Rize Gaming to deal with it. So they need to push out the lanes again, make sure they don't get picked off, and as soon as the lanes are like this far for Rize Gaming, they can take a Roche, I think. Because all the towers, bottom tier 2 and tier 1 are gone, middle tier 1 is gone, so TPing there and going to the Roche pit will take some time. They're spotted out here by the observer ward, so Doom is retreating back to safety with a Scorched Earth running really. BKB on the Titan. I think right now we just need BKBs on all the Rize Gaming heroes, and there's nothing PSL can really do about it. And now the minion push starts.
Look at the Necro Wars.
Yeah, that's just...
And the Necro books plus wards, the Necroforce is going to get the Doom up on him, the Estimator is going to go out, it's actually not going to be able to hit any, only the Jakiro. The BKB is out of the Lycan, he's trying to hit down, oh, a nice Epicenter coming in from the Darkseid, but what a beautiful vacuum. Lycan's still just hitting away, actually just dealing very, very little damage. He hasn't got a lot of that innately. The Death Prophet's in there with the Exorcism doing a lot of damage to the Darkseid. He needs to try and get away. He's not going to be able to get away. And that's that fight over. 4 for 1, the Lycan escaped. They took the tier 3, they threw bodies at that tier 3.
Are under attack.
But they took the tier 3. And unless Rize can just quickly go take that Roshan, they're not going to sort of capitalize anything off this fight.
Certainly they get some gold, but the problem is, of course, as you mentioned, the tier 3 is down, and that's so major, especially against, let's count, 1 Necrobook, 2 Necrobook, 3 Necrobooks, plus the Wolf, plus the Rasta Wards. This Rex is gonna fall without any hero being in there. And they're gonna scout the Roshan, and they see Roshan is up, so they're gonna quickly go for the Roshan and try to get it as fast as they can. Darkseid is still down 40 seconds. Meanwhile, the DP is just pushing down the top tower, getting a Reaver, looking into getting a heart, and
has that heart.
Yeah, basically she has that heart, but I think she want to keep buyback money. It's really important to have that buyback.
Yeah, she has the heart. She has 4,000 gold. The recipe's already bought. She will have the heart and an extra 2,800 gold.
Okay, so she certainly has the buyback, and I think we're gonna get the Aegis up on Doom, probably.
Yeah, it should go to Doom. He needs, and she's got 5,000 gold up on him. Yeah, so I think they're really just get BKBs, my friends.
Right now it works out without BKBs for the Doom, because he's starting in, dooming the Necro, dealing some auto hits and just running out again. I think that works really well, but with a BKB you could still, of course, stand there a little bit longer. But that Lycan is just dealing so much damage to him that it's really hard, you know, to just use a BKB and stand in the middle of the fight, because that Lycan always was hitting on the Doom. Because the DP is, of course, really beefy and hard to bring down. What do you think? Would you like a Blade Mail up on the DP?
Blade Mail on DP? I'm not so sure. I don't actually think it'd be that necessary.
No, it wouldn't be super necessary. The question is, wouldn't it be fun to have one? Especially with all that magic damage, and then you just don't pop your BKB at first and, you know, just walk in with your heart. And we have an epicenter initiation there. Oh, he actually missed something. That's a really messy fight there. Ek is dying to the Lycan, but while taking out the Shadow Demon. Doom on the Necro with the BKB up doesn't matter. The Rex are actually gonna fall here. Exorcism doing not enough damage. Ice Blast coming out there, trying to hit on the Lycan. Lycan's gonna be hit by the Ice Blast, not mattering that much. Reaper Scythe on top of the Doom surging out now, and they just retreat back to safety, and they got the Rex, so they got at least something out of it. Exorcism was popped, they didn't get that much kills, and yeah, there was it's hard to tell. They basically just used all their minions and all the wards and everything to bring down the Rex and, you know, run in there like a suicide commando and get as much Rex as they can, and they got both Rex, and actually 3 people survived, so
yeah,
that was a really...
It worked. That's the thing though. It worked. They got their axe. They only lost the Shadow Shaman and Jakiro. The Darkseer lived. The Lycan lived. The Necro, for the first time in any one of these fights, actually lived. And now we have the Aghanims up for the Darkseer. He is just... If he gets a 5-man back into wall, I just think the fight's over.
Yeah, it's certainly going to deal a lot of damage, especially with the illusions afterwards. You have to be really careful. We have a Shivas up on the Elder Titan as well now. So we have 2 Shivas, of course, with the double damage buff. It means can work out. Of course, you do not have 2 slowing attack speed auras, but it's just a little bit of more damage. Armor, of course, and mana on the Titan. It's a nice item to pick up, and it doesn't really bother that much that you have 2 Shivas in one team, I think. Oh, Doom just purchased something. He had 4k gold up. Oh yeah, Doom is going for a heart as well. Are you still with us?
I am still here. We are just trying to get through this game, and both teams are playing very well. Actually, they are going to catch out the Elder Titan, and if they can pick him up very quickly, he's going to get out. The Doom goes onto the Shadow Shaman, so there's not going to be wards. They're not going to try and suicide this space. But now, the Jakiro's actually going to boil up before he gets off the Macropire. Now the Exorcisms are going to absolutely tear through the Necrophos. And now they've just lost that fight. They popped the Aegis, and that was it.
But they lost the Rex.
Yeah. Lycan just went, right, okay. This is what we can do. This is all we can do.
Yeah, it's somewhat from my perspective, it's somewhat disgusting way of play, because I face that so often. But of course, I have to commend PSL for doing their best with what they picked and trying to execute it the best way. And yes, it works out. But the problem is 50 seconds down on Lycan, no buyback. 34 seconds down on Necrophos has a buyback. So they're gonna get the tier 2, of course, but the question is, are they gonna try to work on that tier 3? I think it's gonna be a tough call.
Yeah, and the Sand King's just sort of running at the top. He's going to sort of Darkseer's just going to sort of chase down the Sand King, make sure he can't actually fully take down this entire creep wave. And he's really going to threaten the tier 4s, or potentially just go and take the take the racks.
It's nothing Sand King can really do about it.
Yeah. And the Lincoln, and he might actually just die here. If the Darkseer just didn't want to take, actually we're going to go back into the mid lane, because this potentially could go very explosively. The wards are going to go up to try and defend that tower, and very much the correct decision. Darkseer's actually going to be able to pick off the Sand King. He's going to go down. The tier 3 tower did finally go down, but they almost lost the Doom for that.
Yeah, but Reaper's Scythe is on cooldown now, and he can just regen up with that cheese and coming back into the teamfight with the Doom, dooming up the Necrophos. Rasta's gonna die here to the ice something, cold feet.
Yeah, the Exorcism's out, and they're gonna try and see if they can push him with this. They need to get through the wards. The ice pass is there. They're gonna have a vacuum. No, the wall is there. Does it catch the illusion of the Doom? It caught the Doom. Now the Lycan's in-house. He's going to just quickly take down the Ancient Apparition. Don't want to get that slow. Don't want to get that cold feet. Now, go on to the Doom. Get away from the Exorcism. Really nice path, just locking up the Doom once again. Now the next boss is going to get all those heals out. Reaper Scythe in 20 seconds, but they're going to get away. The Death Prophet's actually going to have all of her health back in just a short second. But they kept the racks. Yes. And they also had taken the bot racks. So 2 lanes of racks in favour of PSL.
Yeah, that was interesting how they played it out. But Doom just picked up his heart like prior to the team fight, and he's sitting on 3k gold again. How the fuck do you farm that fast? It was just a team fight, and look at the experience graph. It had like this wave back after the 2-1 team fights by PSL, and now it's back to 21k. But the gold, that's like really what matters right now for me. There's two set of racks down with the tier 3 towers, and somehow Rize Gaming equaled up the score with gold, I mean. And we have a refresher orb picked up by DP.
Yeah. And her Radiance now onto DotA. This is going to like a series of items which you almost never see.
Yeah. Let's quickly go through the items. Do we have something major new? Like we have the Radiance, of course. AC on Lycan. We're actually gonna have a fight soon. I think they're gonna try to push into this. And we have an initiation. The Doom is. The Doom was used on the Lincolns of the Darkseer, so the Doom is not available this fight. Macropire coming out, not hitting anyone. The Exorcism is popped. The minions are working down the tower.
That is such a beautiful wall! Oh, it got all of the heroes. The Elspeth didn't do all too much, but they're still hit. They got the tier 3 tower down to half. They only lost the Shadow Shaman, but they still. They took it down. There's no way for it to regen either.
Yeah, that's really painful to have, and Doom picked up a Shadow Blade. That's interesting. That's gonna be a really surprising move for them. They don't have True Sight, or they have True Sight on the Jakiro, but of course they do not see the Doom coming with a Shadow Blade. So that's gonna be interesting if you can get a surprise Doom off on anyone. And if that happens, imagine the Necrophos getting Doom before his BKB pops, and then just getting out of the team fight. They're gonna check Roshan with AA ulti, the Ice Blast, and Roshan is gonna respawn right now. So that's like some really unfortunate timing by the AA Ice Blast. They know Roshan should be respawning soon, so I hope they check again, because that would be so unfortunate having that timing. Manta picked up by the Darkseer. Please explain that Manta to me. I think he just has too much money and tries to spend it well.
Yeah, I think he's trying to go to take that route. He's giving up his Blink Dagger for that.
And he sold that Shadow Blade again. He didn't really want it. He saw that they're not pushing anymore, so right now, so he cannot really surprise them, because he would show himself to the creeps. So he sold the Shadow Blade again. Meanwhile, we have Titan defending. One of the only guys who can really defend this with the natural order against the mega creeps. I think the rest are needed to actually push, but the natural order would be needed in a team fight as well. So I think they will retreat back out to safety, push out the lanes, try to stabilize, and maybe get the Roshan out again. Eke is gonna check the Roshan, sees the Roshan is up, so they're probably gonna go for the Roshan. Problem is everyone from PSL is up, and I think a regular team fight Rize should win, because they cannot, just commit too much to the Rex, and they have the space to fight. I think Rize would win a Roshan fight. But the DP is on top lane. Exorcism is up 2 times now. She's sitting on 5.2k gold. Can sell that drums and get some really big item up.
I think she should get Escarded, to be honest. The attack speed slow and the slow through the BKB, I think will actually make a really big difference. Slow down the attack speed of the Lycan, so you can't take down the Rax as quickly.
Don't you think if she gets Escarded, she has like, let's say 4.5k life, and then when she drops to half by just the hard stop aura, I think stacking too much life wouldn't really benefit him at all.
A big man, just go E-Blade. They might be able to catch out the Doom into the Shackle. They're going to be able to lock him down. The big Epicenter going to come in from the Sand King. It's going to be able to destroy the Jakiro. He's already gone. Now the Darkseer, what have you survived? Actually got everyone. The Sand King's out. He's got no buyback for this fight. The Rax is down. Lycan's just hitting away on these Rax while the fight is going on. They're using the illusions trying to effectively. Doom goes out onto the Necrophos. The Lycan's having to move away. They took the tier 3 and now they're trying to salvage. What happened? Darkseer, what are you doing there? He's actually just taking them down with the illusions. They actually were able to pick off the Lycan with a nice stomp coming out of the Elder Titan. But Darkseer is just like this game. Right, okay, I'm just gonna sort of go around a farm, climb creeps.
Okay, are you ready to click on creep stats with me at the same time? Okay, let's check this out. Holy moly.
This just insta-buy level 3 Necro coming out from the Doom.
Yeah, the problem is if your enemies commit that much to Necro books, what are you really gonna do? You don't have items that provide you sick AoE damage that's just gonna clear them immediately.
Oh, another Necro book. They just want to push.
Yeah, they want to finish this game. They want to give them the taste of their own medicine with all that Necro books. Now the counter push coming with the double exorcism up soon. The problem is the courier's on the way, so Necro 3 up on DP, but in the base, so she cannot really use it. We have a Necro book usage on Doom. It's gonna try to work down that Rex. With the Macropire, they're trying to defend this. I think they need a Veil of Discord with all the magic damage they have that would really benefit them. So we have a Necro Wars there, Necros against Necros with the Darkseer illusions. And Ice Blast gonna hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit the Necro, but there's no initiation coming in. It's gonna have now an Aghanim's coming out of the Sand King. He's gonna do so much damage when he gets the Veil off in this fight. In every single fight, the Jakiro has just sort of taken the initial damage from the epicenter, and he just gets absolutely melted. Now a Skull Basher out for the Lycan. Really haven't seen too much of the Lycan's item aggression. I don't really feel that he's doing all too much. With the fact they're just trying to rat it out, I have to say, I don't think the Skull Basher is the best idea. Just go for the Desolator.
I don't know. The problem was right now he tried to work on that Rex, but Rize Gaming manages to take out the whole team before the Rex falls. So I think he will decide to now fight with them and try to work down Doom, work down.
Well, they might be able to find out the Sand King here. No, he's gonna be able to blink away. Sees
no.
Actually, no, the Radiance. So that's gonna be enough. First hit bash. A Doom he's actually got out. He actually was able to get off the ulti. The Aspect is gonna hit through. BKB's now going through. Now just
Lycan walking. Lycan walking into the base with the Darkseer. They're trying to bring down that Rex. And there comes the epicenter, and then the Sand King is so close. He almost died to the Necrobooks there, but the Shiva pop from Crush actually saved him. And they got the Rex.
And the woods. You're gonna get off the woods, but needs to focus those racks down. But the backdrop protection's here. There's no creeps inside the base, so the Sand King will be able to pick off the Shadow Shaman. And now all the wards are gone.
Oh, this game, man, this game. It's really hard to tell what's gonna be the outcome. It's gonna be really hard for Rize Gaming to work against that push, but now they got the Necrobooks up as well on them. I think that's the reaction I would have as well. Give them a taste of their own medicine, because it's really annoying playing against so many Necrobooks, of course, and they are trying so hard to bring down that Rex with everything they got, and they actually got down the Rex, the range Rex.
Quick question. Does the Exorcism stack? Can you pop both of them at once?
No, it does not stack. But you have instead of how long is that? 30 seconds. Then you have 1 minute of Exorcism.
Yeah. Okay.
It does not stack. If you call ghosts, like if you call the Exorcism or
a sheep onto Jakiro, he's gonna take a lot of damage. The Ice Blast is gonna be there. It's actually gonna fall short. The Doom's gonna be there, but we'll be able to pick him off. The Ancient Apparition was picked off by the Darkseer. Jakiro fights back straight into the game. So, but can you see the Lycan? Lycan is going for it. They know this is their chance. A silence onto the Shadow Shaman. This is gonna be really dangerous for him. He actually lives. This is a really big thing for him. They need to try and sort of get one of these heroes, just get the wards up or anything. They're just going for the Exorcism into the base.
And this
nice back him into the wall. Oh, it's going to do absolutely so much damage. The Doom Illusion is doing absolute work through all of these heroes. That's a triple kill for the Necrophos. Neo the Lycan is actually hitting onto the Ancient of the Dire team. Mass buybacks coming out of Rize Gaming. And they're going to be able to pick up the Lycan, but they just managed to turn the entire fight around with such a beautiful vacuum wall coming out of the Darkseer.
Wow! Lycan bought back. So basically we had 2, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7 buybacks just now happened. Necrophos, Rasta and Darkseer still have a buyback. No buybacks left on Dire. They had to commit every buyback on that Lycan who was pushing their base. And now Wall is up in 60 seconds again. Reaper's Scythe is up in 26 seconds again. Macropire 13 seconds. Rasta Watts are still up. With all the Necrobooks, I think they can just commit to a push. Glyph is down for the Dire side. They're gonna go for the Roshan, and with that Aegis, they're gonna trade the Aegis for the throne, I think. Rasta has to be a little bit careful here. He's getting initiated on by the Sand King and the DP. With the Hex, he's gonna be brought down. He has a buyback. if he wants to. They spot out that Roshan is being done with the Ice Blast and the Titan. Necrophos going back to base, and I think they have to retreat out. And if they have to TP out of here, I think Rize Gaming might take the Aegis, even though it's a little bit of a time usage there. DD up on the Lycan if he's gonna run.
Oh, this is so dangerous for them right now. This is like such an all or nothing move. He needs to just run straight in. He's actually, oh, this is very clever coming out from him. He's just, I'm surprised he actually decided to show himself there.
Yeah, Exorcism is up with a refresher.
They're gonna go. Dark's in the base. Is there a glyph? There is no glyph. You can't outpush this. He's just gonna be game. This is gonna be the game. Rize Gaming are gonna lose their first group stage game.
And what a game! Yeah, GG Reds. I actually have to agree with Crush. That was, oh my god, that game.
Wow, that is a game and a half. 1 hour on the dot.
Wow, and what a game it was. It was so close, and actually I think Rize Gaming made a major comeback after that first pushing power PSL offered them. And it was a really close game, and I think the Radiant Throne was down to, what was it, 15%?
Yeah, it went down really quick.
With the Exorcism, it was just so close, and of course Titan and AA couldn't defend against the Lycan with the BKB up, and it was so close. I think, yeah, that was quite the game. Nice game to start off the day.
Yeah, with how much that game has been overrunning, we're actually going to get straight into the second game. Just going to quickly host up the lobby. Yeah,
so we're going to quickly hop into the next lobby and start the second game right away. See you in a bit.